Hello and welcome. Tonight on the show, we have a mishmash of a bag rag for you. Get a load of this. We have Bissel's Sweet Heat Maple Syrup, Goon Squad Dang Sauce, and finally, Gold's Prepared Horseradish and Beets. Boy, we are so excited to have you. This is Sauce Spoken.
And we're back. We are Sauce Spoken. We're a podcast detailing your favorite sauces, dips, and condiments. My name's Adam, and I'll be your host, and I'm joined here this week by my co-host, Tori.
That's right. My name is Tori, and this is Sauce Spoken, and we're delighted to have you, of course. Each and every week, it's a delight. It gets better as it goes, believe it or not. And to my right, we had to stop him, slow him down. He's out here hitting fat gritties for Elon Musk. You wouldn't believe it. A good friend and co-host, E. Hi, E.
The gritty.
Hitting gritties.
You know, and hoping that Elon Musk wins that Twitter lawsuit or whatever the heck that was about.
I think that's been in the can for...
Why do you care?
Oh, well, I just find it interesting that, like, you know, he buys a social media site and then it was complaining because he's like, there's so many bots on here. Like, well, yeah, you did buy social media site.
Oh, he didn't actually buy it. He was trying to back. He's trying to back out. That's what the debate is on right now. He's trying to back out from that.
I thought it actually was like signed for a done deal, and now he's trying to back out.
Yes, that's exactly what the lawsuit is about.
And it's about all the bots. It's about he's backing out because he's like, I'm supposed to have a voice to 170 million or whatever people that are on Twitter, and probably like,
that's what he's calling it. It's a little bit more complicated than just that. He's not some hero for the people about the policing the bots on Twitter.
That's your job, E.
Yeah, that was one take from CNN of some quick excerpt of 2 minutes on the Alexa news.
Yeah, it's a bit more complicated than that. He is not. These people all have like PR people that do their things constantly and weave their own little stories about this stuff. That has nothing to do with
the actual.
No, I'm not saying the bots aren't a factor at all. I'm just saying that's far from the whole story. So
gotcha.
Yeah.
Typically,
it's much more like boring legalese shit is more than the bots is like. Elon Musk is a guy who knows how to like pander to the people, which is becoming a more and more increasingly useful political skill as people start doing less critical thinking and more emotional thinking. So
fair enough.
Now it's time to catch up with the hosts.
Time to catch up.
How's your week this week, E?
Can't complain. It's been good.
Speaking of someone with no emotional thoughts.
No emotional thoughts whatsoever. Yeah, wake up, do the same shit day after day. But I love it. It's what I like to do.
Wake up in the morning feeling like you did the gritty.
Still doing gritties, for Elon Musk and down at work. Yep, still making parts, programming that new laser.
Making farts. Making parts and making farts.
Well, there's a natural body function, right?
That's right.
So
some more than others.
Yeah, I really wish you guys would take that ice cream. It's just kind of like, I'm going to have to just throw it away. One of you guys need to take that ice cream out of my fridge. Speaking of...
You'll eat it. Your refrigerator is so full of things. We've talked about this several times recently, but alarmingly
soon that'll
full.
be come to an end. I'll have to start weeding out all these sauces.
Soon.
Weeding out, making room for actual food. So
what do you got in there now?
You don't...
Mostly sauces. That fridge is literally like 50% full of sauces.
Well, yeah, there's a lot of sauce in it, but on the other hand, too, like, the food... You can't eat a fridge worth of food in the time before it will go bad. Fruit does not last indefinitely in the fridge.
No, that's for sure. I've thrown out my share. I've ate some questionable stuff. My fair share of questionable stuff.
I wanted to mention that because this past week we went to a Chinese buffet. What is it called? Well, we won't say the name on air because I'm not going to say nice things about them.
It was pretty bad.
It was one of the... I'm not going to say it was one of. It was the...
worst.
Sketchiest buffet I have ever been in my entire life. And had I not been absolutely starving... I never would have gone in there. Actually, we went in, and were they closed during COVID, I assume?
Oh, yeah.
And then they just recently opened back up, and it looks like
they've been open for a while, so...
It looks like the place had been infested by raccoons during the entirety of COVID, so...
Yeah.
But we walked in, and like half the line, like buffet line was closed, and we walked in, and they had... Were they plastic or paper plates?
They're like styrofoam.
Styrofoam plates. It's styrofoam plates and plastic silverware instead of the usual warm out of the dishwasher dishes that they keep for you, on the little spring-loaded dish stack, which I like.
That's pretty neat.
Yeah, they instead they had plastic styrofoam dishware, and there was some music in the background, but it was turned down to inaudibly low, so that all you could ever hear was like low conversation and like people chewing around you, which is like my nightmare, my personal hell to begin with. And we started walking up and down the aisles, and I made it up one aisle, and I'm like, I don't like the looks of any part of this. And that was before I even looked at the restaurant itself, really. I could tell the outside was sketchy. Started going up and down the aisles, and then I'm like, I think we're just going to have to leave here. I don't think I can do this. And then Eric gleefully started digging in.
No, it didn't.
Filling his plate with food.
That's not true at all.
The big smile on his face.
I was questioning it.
This is the freshest food I've eaten in months. And so once he started filling his plate, I was like, well, we have to pay now, so I guess we'll deal with this. And I'll be honest, I managed to find quite a few things that were perfectly good. They were very Spartan with the portions. Like if they're refilling the tray of fish, they're only bringing out like one fish fillet at a time. I don't know if you noticed that. I was like, oof. Clearly they were hurting. So, which, I guess I'm glad.
1/3 of the restaurant too was closed down.
Yeah.
1/3 of the buffet wasn't even.
Oh yeah, no, I mentioned that. The whole buffet, part of the buffet line wasn't open, and everything was very sparse. And the quality was mediocre.
At best.
It would have sufficient. If the place had looked a little nicer, it would have come off better, I think.
Tasted better.
Yeah, but I will say it was fine. I ate too much. I ate like, I don't know, at least 3 hefty plates full of food, and got some ice cream afterwards. And I gotta say, I didn't quite get sick the next day, but my stomach wasn't right all day.
Oh, damn.
Yeah, I wasn't feeling that great either the next day.
Yeah, my stomach was definitely not hurting badly or anything. It was definitely off the entire next day. Were you okay, Tor?
Yeah, I was fine.
All right.
I went to the gym. Money. Yeah.
Yeah, I had to go.
Business as usual.
I had to go work the next day, and then I went for a little bicycle ride. So like I said, it was fine. It didn't slow me down or anything, but my stomach was just a little uncomfortably off the whole day. But that's okay. Like I said, it was fine. I would never go back there. Once I sat down and had finished eating, because I eat like a piranha, cleaning the hide off of a cow or something like that. And
in record time, yeah.
And then I started looking around at it looked like there was like a whole head of hair hanging from one of the AC, like 2 of the AC ducts had just like this streamer of hair hanging from them. And there was like the dirty, dingy walls and like the trim falling off and stuff. I mean, it was literally like, if you type in AI generates a decrepit restaurant, that's what it would have looked like. So it was worse than the place that you have shit on before, one place that I rather like, and I will speak fondly of, Miller's Seafood House. It was considerably worse than Miller's Seafood House, has good chicken wings, but they don't care as much. It's a little divey. They don't care as much for their interior. That's all I'll say.
A little divey.
But anything else of note this week, Eric?
Well, you touched on something that was interesting. You talked about putting, words into an AI art generator. My couple of college buddies happened to mention to me about a little website that I will quickly shout out here to midjourney.com. It's currently in a beta situation where you can sign up and get 25 free AI art generation pieces. I guess. AI art generated pieces.
Yeah, this was all the rage about a month ago. Eric's just now catching on to it because someone clued him in. So,
my college buddies clued me in.
Yeah, but
has this been out for a while now? Okay.
Yeah, this whole thing is like a dying fad at this point now. Now that you're first hearing of it, so. But
Not
that's
surprised,
okay.
Yeah,
that's okay. The big thing for a while was DALL-E Mini. That was the big free AI image generator tool that people were having a lot of fun with. So
neat.
But what about you, Tor? What'd you get up to this past week? Anything fun?
I'm still playing Death Stranding, and I figured out why they called it that game.
Okay.
I simultaneously love it and hate it at the same time, this particular game.
Okay.
And they call it Stranding because the player is stranded in a sea of in-universe game jargon that you can't keep straight. I mean, from a storytelling perspective, the main character is already hip to every groove in the game. Like, him as a character, he knows about all this weird shit that's happening around him. You, as the player, don't. So, when you fire it up for the first time, he's right in line. He's like, oh yeah, well, this is happening to this guy over here. You, as the player, never met him. And it is just confusing as all hell.
So it doesn't spoon feed you anything?
Oh my goodness, no. Oh, no. It gives you like a slingshot and puts you in the middle of the Amazon. I mean, no, they spoon feed you nothing. Zero. It is active. I mean, it don't even make any sense. Every other stupid-ass thing in the game is a strand. I don't know. Like, the guy's name is a Strand. When you go to this next city, that's a Strand. The bad guy is a Strand. I don't fucking know, but I like it. I like the premise.
Is this supposed to be like a strand in, like, the rope of life, and these are all little pieces or something?
Exactly. That's the bigger
I managed
picture.
to pick up on it pretty quick.
I mean, that's the big picture. Yeah, I mean, help yourself. I mean...
But, like, is that the point of the game, is to figure out the rope? Like, put all these strands together and figure out this guy's... It's like a mystery game? It's a solving game?
No. Sheesh. How much time you got?
He said you're like a mail carrier.
Yeah, you're basically like a delivery boy, more or less.
Oh, you did say that last.
Yeah, you're Daryl from The Walking Dead, and you walk around these perilous, landscapes, which is challenging enough. It's weird enough. It's interesting enough. But then you got, like, these fucking ghost guys that show up in this black goop.
Are you sure you didn't, like, accidentally skip an intro or something like that?
No. How stupid do you think I am?
Sometimes, man, if you're just, like, mashing through buttons to try to start the game, it might... skip an intro.
No, I didn't.
Okay.
So, yeah, there you go. Aren't you glad you asked?
Cool.
A little bit. I mean, I think it's interesting. I don't know. I started, again, this is probably, old news, but The Sandman came out on Netflix. And that's based on either a Dark Horse or DC comic.
I know nothing about this.
Comic series, and it's a really different take on the Sandman, like the guy gives the King of Dreams,
the Dream Man.
Yeah, so it's very surreal, watching
Mr. Sandman,
watching
yes, bring me a dream, bum, 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 bum.
The play, the trying to figure out what's going on, and all the characters that he knows already. I mean, he's an eternal being, so it's pretty interesting.
He's an eternal being. Bean? Tori's worst enemy, the eternal bean.
Yeah, F that.
His worst nightmare, worse even than Death Stranding, the eternal bean.
I love it, though. I mean, I think it's a cool premise. I think it's neat. The whole, like, hiking simulator aspect of it. I guess, it's cool. It's well done. It looks gorgeous. I mean, it's a good-looking game.
That's cool. That says a lot.
Weird. It's a shame you accidentally skipped the intro.
Yeah. Yeah. You know me.
Oh boy!
If we could all be as smart as Adam, boy, we'd all be in good shape.
Is this? I'm obviously joking. Is this a popular game?
I mean, the creator is a huge name. That's the guy who made the Metal Gear Solid games.
Oh right, okay, yeah, you mentioned that.
So
too.
He's a huge, influential name. This is different from what we're used to seeing from him, at least me.
Huh?
Yeah.
Yeah, because the Metal Gear Solid series was very much like, here's who you are. You're going to do this thing. Go do it.
Oh, don't kid yourself, my man. Some of those storylines are crazy.
Yeah, I have very loose familiarity with it. I've just seen, mostly I've played like maybe one and seen like screenshots.
Okay.
So
yeah, you might be off base talking there.
Yeah, it might be.
Imagine that. But yeah, it's.
I've never played a single minute.
You get into some of those storylines. There's AIs and the Patriots and, dare I say, the Lule-Lule-Lo.
Dare you?
Maybe. I don't know. You got nano machines. Anyway, continue.
Well, that's about it. We've got it sounds like a lot of confusion going on in the world and in the video games. And I think that this episode will be no different for the listeners because we've got what I would call a troubling trifecta of confusion in the sauces. So we're trying 3 sauces this week. And I think for possibly the first time on the show, none of them have anything to do with one of the other. They're all completely just off the wall, random, essentially. So some of them literally off the wall, in Eric's case.
Oh, yeah.
One from your back catalog.
and about to expire, so I'm glad we're getting to it.
I can't imagine. Oh, never mind. We'll get into that, I'm sure.
What, my back catalog?
No, totally different.
No, I don't want to hear this. What was this comment?
No, I mean, it's horseradish, but I mean, it doesn't go bad. It's pickled.
Yeah. No, that's a really good point. We should talk about that. Let's start off talking about the sauces that we're actually trying this week. Why don't you go ahead and lead us off with the first one we're trying tonight there, Eric?
All right, be happy to. I have original family recipe, Gold's prepared horseradish and beets. Horseradish and beets. That's right. You heard me correctly.
Horseradish and beets. Okay, and I have the Bissels, like this vacuum cleaner company, as Eric so astutely pointed out, and actually kind of in the similar font as well, which I hadn't previously considered.
Same spelling?
I think so.
Pretty sure.
Yeah.
Bissell's Sweet Heat Maple Syrup. And Tori, you want to wrap things up there for us?
Yeah, sure. I have a hand-me-down. I have Goons Squad Dang Sauce, Chipotle Lime Hot Sauce.
Now, that one was actually given to us by a friend.
That's right.
And this is the point in the show when we have to make any little caveats if we have them. And I will say, I was given this sauce by my older sister as a part of a Christmas present, and that that's what I'm referring to, the Sweet Heat maple syrup from Bissel's. And Tori, our good friend Big A, AK as he is known to us, gifted us this dang sauce, and like I said, I think he bought this, I want to say, I don't know, I think it was possibly as late as 6 months ago he bought this sauce. Oh. And he's been talking about it ever since, but apparently I was the only one that heard or remembered that. So
yeah,
but
tuned that one out.
But he gave us this one, and I couldn't find an expiration date on that sauce, but it has been in his refrigerator since he bought it. It has been open, which is a disclaimer we have to give, and the lid on it is cracked in half in such a way that you can screw the lid back on and it will seal the container, but if you try to take it off, it comes off into two pieces. Very strange damage to it that I've never quite seen before in a sauce. But
did he spike it on his way up here like a football?
No, he said it. I think he said it arrived that way at his house, but there was a seal on it, so it wasn't a big deal. Because I guess he ordered this online or something like that. But yeah, strange.
I'd be a little nervous, maybe. Maybe not. Who am I kidding?
No, it had a seal on it.
Or like one of those like seal.
Yeah, a seal under the lid. So he said he peeled that off. So it's never gone like. I think it's fine. Eric, for your horseradish and beets, only disclaimer for that one is that it expires in 2 days.
Right. And I just bought it like 2 weeks ago.
Yeah, exactly. You didn't buy it that long ago, and that's a weird thing because you would think it's like a pickled product, but I happened to look at it as we were trying it today, and it literally says it expires 2 days from now.
Yeah.
Very strange.
It does also say on the label, fresh grated, so.
It does, but like I said, it's canned, it's packed, it's not refrigerated or anything, right? You didn't buy it refrigerated, it was just out on the shelf.
Just bought on the shelf.
That's crazy.
Which
stable.
Is strange to me because we'll get into this when we get into our tasting notes, but like I'm looking at that and I'm thinking, how much of that are you moving through on the shelf that you can afford to have it only be shelf stable for like a couple of weeks?
Yeah. People out here eating it with spoons.
Unless
it's just been on the shelf for a couple of years.
Right, which is also possible. And you, to be fair though, Eric, you did think it was supposed to be eaten like a side dish at first.
I did.
Which is insane. But before we get too deep into that, let's go ahead and do a visual description of the outside of the containers that we're looking at here tonight. So I'll lead us off with the Bissel's Sweet Heat Maple Syrup. And it's in a cute little bottle. It's an 8-ounce bottle, and it's a very classy little bottle with cylindrical with a dome top leading into about a 3/4 of an inch spout on the top, a little black metal lid, a very pleasant to the touch label around it. It goes almost all the way around, and I would say about 2/3 ish of the bottle, and it's a tan color. And on the front it has a maple leaf. It says Bissel's in like a script, and then Sweet Heat maple syrup in all caps. And then a maple leaf and a lighter tan on the front of that. And in there's it looks like they made a pepper, but out of a little flame. Very interesting. And on the left-hand side, it says, this product is a collaboration between Bissel Maple Farm and Midland Ghost in Midland, Georgia. A little sweet and a little heat. Okay, a lot sweet. Just the way we like it. And I think it's interesting because, and I'll tie into this later here, but the Midland Ghost is a running dog logo.
Oh.
And on the right-hand side of this label, it just has nutrition facts. But yeah, very, very clean, very simple. It has a texture to the label, which I don't know if we've ever seen before, a label that has a texture to it. Did you guys get a chance to feel that?
Expensive resume paper.
Yeah, exactly. Like a high-grade paper to it.
Mm-hmm.
Interesting.
Yeah, it's neat. It looks like a little medicine bottle. Like definitely like an old-fashioned.
Yeah, like a little apothecary bottle.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Almost leathery.
Yeah, it's kind of interesting. Like I said, I don't think we've ever seen something that used quite that, but I like holding it, which I was afraid about holding it because I don't like sticky things in my hands. Somehow we haven't managed to get any on the bottle yet, so I'm okay to hold the bottle, but
given the design of that bottle, we deserve an award.
Yeah,
really.
That's a shock.
It is designed to run syrup all over every surface with that domed lid and all that, and the very fine spout with no easy to pour thing on it. So. But why don't you go ahead and tell us about the one you're looking at there, Tor?
Sure. I have the Dang sauce. And what I have here, it looks like a glass flask or a fifth of whiskey.
Yep. Exactly. Yeah, it's a flask. Yeah.
Yeah. It's just, you put it in your side pocket and take a nick at a boring wedding or something like that. But instead of booze in here, we have hot sauce. And on the label of this hot sauce, the background appears to me like automotive interior, especially like the seat of a car.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
if you look at it there, just with the threading and the diagonal pattern, almost a houndstooth, if you will, but not quite. Very, very, very fine pattern. But yeah, that's what I would equate it to. And it says Goons Squad in arch over the top, and we got two of these dudes looking at us, these mugs. I have no clue who these guys are, but they're both wearing lime green hats that are backwards because they're cool guys. So I guess the lime green comes with the lime sauce. It's, of course, the Chipotle lime sauce. Under these two mugs, it says Dang Sauce, of course, Chipotle lime hot sauce, handmade batches by our friends Hoff and Pepper. Not to be confused with Hoss and Pfeffer. That's a bunny rabbit dish.
Correct.
On the back, it says, we've tackled supercars, trucks, and even helicopters. But for hot sauce, ... pause for dramatic effect, Hoff and Pepper are the best in the biz. Our powers combined, we're proud to bring you the Dang Sauce, the pedal to the metal mashup of Chipotle, ancho, and red jalapeno, habanero, and fresh lime. It's smoky, a little tangy, and bursting with just enough heat and kick to crack this sucker open. Slather it on your favorite foods and give us a big dang, son. Apparently that's a catchphrase among these fellas. I guess they're on YouTube.
Yeah, I don't know anything about this. Like I said, our friend AK is big into cars. I assume this is some sort of auto YouTube
Oh,
duo.
yeah, they have gauges on the side here, like you're looking at your tack on the dash.
Yeah, it's pretty cool, actually. I like the gauges on the side.
Legit, it
dorky
says
as
on
hell,
the
but-
side. Yeah, I guess these guys have a bunch of catchphrases.
I've never seen any media by these people, but just based on the pictures I've seen of them online and the front here, I don't like them. So, and I assume that like the two jabronis on the front are the car guys, and the guy on the back, who kind of looks like our friend Big A, that must be the food component
That's
guy.
the Sauce Connect. You got me, man.
That's what I'm guessing. It's like some kind of collaboration. He's like the guy that makes the food, and these two, goons are the ones that.
Is he Hoff or Pepper?
He's Hoff.
The big boy.
He is Hoff. I did verify that on the website, which we'll get to later. He is Hoff.
Is he a car guy also, or is he a fat guy that hangs around?
Yes, I don't know. I'm making assumptions. I'm guessing he is the fat guy who's into food, and these two other ones are the car people. So
Fair enough. The gearheads.
But I will, proudly profess to know nothing about this. So, but what about you, Eric?
All right, Dad. My sauce tonight is very kind of strange little bottle. It's a glass jar with a white lid. It's about 2 inches in diameter, maybe 4.5, 5 inches tall. It's perfectly clear, translucent glass, and the label on it only runs halfway around the bottle, so it's not a very big label. And then literally half of that is like the nutrition facts, barcode, and then translucent, like clear packing tape. Basically, the label is clear, so you can see through the product behind. Which I kind of like the fact that it's like truly 100% clear, blends right in. The label itself, though, is like kind of looks like the shape of a door. It's like an old timey like tavern door, where it has a rounded top to it.
Right.
And it's like a navy blue. And then the very top there in the rounded spot says "Original Family Recipe," going in a nice arc. And then the rest of this label has like kind of almost like the Heinz.
Oh, right.
Logo,
like the border around it. Yeah, I see what you're saying. Yeah.
That like double line border.
Like the bold and then the thin line border. Yeah.
Exactly. And it's white on the background, and then it has that same navy blue lettering for Brooklyn Original, established in 1932, golds. And then it says in this bright beet color, essentially, bright reddish pink, prepared horseradish and beets is like in a red banner, that same pink banner, and then the horseradish and beets is in white text. So there's kind of like a little bit of layering on top of each other going on here. Has beets and like what looks like definitely a horseradish root on the front there, and like real fine illustrative kind of like line art, sort of like we had similar to that S&F sauce, right?
Yeah.
So
the remoulade.
Right. And then it says fresh grated, gluten free, fat free. It's kosher for Passover and year round use.
Are there any animals on yours?
On mine?
Yeah.
No.
Okay.
Net weight 6 ounces. Do you have animals on yours?
I had a dog on mine from the logo, and Tori has a cat on his, which he failed to mention, which I was surprised about, because he loves kitties.
Oh, I'll be darned. Yeah, at the top. Boy, it's hard to see.
Yeah, it is kind of hard to make out, but for some reason yours has a cat on it, mine has a dog on it, and Eric says no animals whatsoever, apparently.
It says technician approved around the silhouette of the same lime green that...
I'm assuming that's an inside joke.
That
like
has to be
the technician or
exactly,
something.
Yeah.
Sounds pretty stupid to me. Maybe, okay, I don't know. I'm judging these guys for really no reason whatsoever. Maybe yours has no animals on it because it's kosher, Eric.
Probably.
No, I don't think that has any factor at all whatsoever. But let's get on to the inside of the containers we're looking at here. The sauces themselves, a visual appearance on them. For mine, the maple syrup, spoiler alert, the sweet heat factor changes nothing about the actual appearance of the maple syrup. You know, it is a very runny, almost runny to the point of water, no thickness whatsoever to it. Light, medium brown, sticky, liquidy substance. Absolutely no impurities in it, nothing to see. It's a if you look at it through the jar, it's a nice, beautiful, golden, reddish caramel color, especially if you see a thinner cross-section of it. Very pretty, like deep amber, reddish brown. Very attractive, but nothing special as far as that. If you've ever seen any maple syrup before, it looks exactly identical to that.
He means real maple syrup.
Yes, real maple syrup, not Aunt Jemima's. Although, to be fair, the appearance in the jar is not that different. Like, the color is very much the same. It's just that those tend to be a little bit, like, thicker, and this is much more runny.
I was expecting a thicker product.
I think authentic maple syrups are often considerably more runny like this.
Absolutely.
Ain't that some shit? Okay.
Yeah. But, nothing other than that, nothing really to speak of as far as appearance on this goes. But what about you, Tor?
I have, of course, the dank sauce. I'll mention it again. And it says it's a hot sauce on the front label. And I think if you were to look at it on a plate, I think it looks a lot like a hot sauce. It's a bit of a darker red than your typical Frank's Red Hot. You know, it's certainly a bit darker. That may be a credit to that wonderful Chipotle flavor that we all adore. That was facetiousness.
Yeah, dripping with sarcasm.
I gave you a moment for a little giggle on your own there. Another little dramatic pause for you.
Some of us like Chipotle.
Oh, that's terrible. I just gave another finger like, is that awful? So yeah, as we look at it, and I'm going to go ahead and get my eyeball in it real tight. Yeah, it looks like a hot sauce. It is very much homogenized, at least this glob that I have that is rotating. It's making its revolutions around my plate like a planet. So yeah, I mean, it's a dark red. There may be flecks. I don't know. It's so hard.
Oh, I think I think it's
flecks.
actually primarily fleck. That was actually the interesting thing that I noted, is that it's almost like a powder that has been liquefied.
Yeah, it's so dark, it's hard to see. But okay, I mean, amongst the red, there are very, very small black flecks. But once you get in there and
smear some out like against the white of your plate, and I think you'll be able to see real easily all the flake in there. It's almost like, this is what I was expecting from that paprika paste, if you guys remember that. What I expected from that was something very akin to this, where it's literally just like a liquefied powder.
That's a good way of putting it.
Yeah, that's sort of what it is. Yeah, and that was a good strategy. I don't know why I didn't think of that before. But there you have it. I mean, yeah, there's a ton of flecks, a lot of black. We have some red strands, which I would imagine was a pepper in its previous life, possibly. Fair to assume. I'm out here making big assumptions. I'd be curious as to what the red base is, outside of, the obvious tomato components.
Oh, I think it's chipotle pepper.
Oh, is that so?
Yeah, because usually that chipotle has that. It's smoked red jalapenos, so I think that is exactly what you're saying there.
It almost looks like someone tipped their cigar ash in it.
Yeah, honestly, spoiler alert, I'm surprised it wasn't gritty and grainier than it was to taste it, because based on the appearance, that's what I would have thought.
Right, I think that's fair to say. Yeah. So yeah, a darker than ketchup, a darker than red hot sauce for certain.
Almost like a dried blood stain or something.
Yeah.
It's intense.
Maroon? That's not a maroon, is it? No.
Burgundy. Well, not quite burgundy either.
More burgundy, yeah.
Yeah, but it's dark. Certainly a dark red.
It's very dark. Well, tell us about another red product there, Eric. Tell us about yours.
Well, mine's bizarre or kind of red. It looks like it's really more. I mean, if you ever seen pickled beets before, I mean, it's that amazing color of pink. Really, in the jar, it's dark. It's like packed in there, and really, I don't know, adds to the darkness of being all clumped together like that. But when you put it on your plate, I mean, it spreads out, like the juices that spread out of it are just like pickled beets.
Yep.
Very translucent and runny and fluorescent almost in color, really. But looking at the texture of it here, and even when I served it, when I pulled it outside of the jar itself, it had this amazing shred to it.
Yeah.
They call it prepared and fresh grated, and it looks kind of like, I don't know, like maybe...
It looks like sawdust if someone dyed pink.
Well, I was going to say more like, if you put like pine, particularly like a pine twig into a chipper.
Yes.
And the chipper is
really
really
like
made. The chipper is really made for like bigger wood, so that like twig ends up getting like through the shredder kind of intact, but it's like not totally turned into like pulp. But it's chunky.
Oh, you're
strands.
Spot on. Yeah,
that's a glowing review.
It looks like sticks.
It really does look like wood chips.
Sticks.
It looks like dyed wood chips. It really does.
Yeah.
If you ever used a chainsaw, what you get is very similar to this. It looks like chainsaw dust. Dyed purple.
Yeah.
And there's some dark spots in it. I'm not sure what those couple little
probably beet.
Actually, they might just be air pockets down there, like
that's possible too.
And where it's just like settling with the juices. Yeah, kind of interesting. It was too bizarre to not pick up from the store. I just had to buy it. I had to see what it was about.
Had to. Shoulda, coulda, woulda, had to. Well, let's go ahead and get on to the tasting notes, and we'll keep this kind of light because we've got 3 sauces to plow through. So we'll start again with the sweet heat maple syrup, and I'll lead us off with that. And it's good. I mean, it's sweet. It's got natural maple flavor to it, which is a pleasant difference from the Aunt Jemima's stuff that you normally buy. We tried these on chicken nuggets tonight, and as far as maple syrup goes, it's really interesting. It does have a heat to it, but it's very mild. It's a heat that you don't get much on the forefront of your tongue. It's not one that's going to send you reaching for your glass of milk at all.
No.
But it is present. And if you try it on a piece of chicken, I think it really excels on chicken. I would go so far as to say that is what this is made for. It's not something you really want to use on a pancake, but like a chicken and waffles dish.
Booyah. That's exactly what I was thinking.
Nails it.
Yep.
Absolutely perfect. I mean, we tried it on chicken nuggets, and you could tell how good it was. And it doesn't, it kind of saturates. It doesn't sit on top as much, so you're not getting too much. And the thing about it is, the maple syrup is not overwhelmingly sweet. You get more flavor from it than you do the artificial sweetness, and you get in like a lot of the Aunt Jemima stuff. Yeah, like I said, I quite enjoyed it. The heat was mild. It's the type of heat you get in the back of your throat. And it nailed it with what we tried it on. What do you think, Tor?
Yeah, I really liked it. I have very little left on my plate. Maybe a layer of an atom worth. We're talking down to molecular structure. I liked it a whole hell of a lot, and I was using that chicken to sop it up every chance that I got. Yeah, the maple was good. It was sweet, subtle, and I like the heat, man. I like the heat. It crept up on me. It took me about 2 or 3 bites until the heat became present. But even when it was present, it was just sort of hanging out, man. Not causing a stink, not causing a ruckus. It was just minding its own biz and doing a damn good job of it. I liked it. I liked it a lot.
Cool. What'd you think about it, Eric?
I'm disappointed in myself. I tried this sauce.
Oof, I thought you were going to say you're disappointed in this.
No, well, I mean, a little bit, just because I know I tried it in the wrong order. So I ended up having that dang sauce beforehand, and I clearly did not clear my palate enough. Because I tasted what tastes like a very nice premium maple syrup. I didn't get any heat, but that's because my mouth was already a little bit on fire from the chipotle lime, which we're going to get to next. So yeah, I just sort of screwed up the order on that.
We're getting to that next. Maybe I want to go the other direction.
Consistency.
There you go. You got me. You're right.
There you go, Tori.
The only reason I would break from that would be to mess with you, E. So,
congratulations, E.
I thought we were already broke from it, so.
But yeah, no, I do think that
I was paying attention.
I do think this is like a relatively high-end product. Like, this is made, locally. Like, this maple here was grown 2 hours away from us.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's a very local product, and
you can just tell by the label and packaging it's a high-end product.
It's made with care. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, they're not messing around with this stuff. Like, it's good. It's very impressed. But
very good.
Let's go ahead now and move on to the doofus's Chipotle lime bullshit.
These poor guys, they're going to send all their YouTube followers against us.
Yeah, that's a good point. Maybe we shouldn't upset their YouTube army.
They're going to raid us, bro.
I feel like they probably have the numbers over us for some reason.
I think that's
good to say.
Maybe we could join forces. Maybe we could. Who the hell knows? I don't know. But at any rate, yeah. So we have a hot sauce on our hands. That's been established. And it is. I mean, it's definitely a hot sauce. The Chipotle is there. The lime, I think, is there too. Much to my chagrin, the Chipotle is present. It's warm right off the bat. And I took another finger schlick. I'm gonna try and paint a picture here for you. But that lime was real prominent right off the bat too. Yeah, I mean they nailed it. It's a Chipotle lime. Not for me, but it's aptly named. If I have to search for something good to say about it, I will say that it is very appropriately named.
Hey, you did.
2 goons with a chipotle lime sauce.
Yeah, I think you did a great job describing it there. Everything Tori said there was just spot on. It's lime in the front and chipotle in the back end. It lights up your tongue from the center all the way to the back of your throat, but in a good way. It's not like overly hot. It's enjoyable, a level of heat. I thought it has a nice like punch to it from the lime and just that chipotle flavor. Really kind of, I don't want to say bright, because I know I've used that in the past. It's more like, it's more of a punch. It really just kind of like socks you in the mouth with flavor. So, I think they really stumbled onto something that's actually quite good. It has a unique spot to fill. So, I don't know any other people that are doing.
What would you put
Chipotle.
it on?
Oh, definitely chicken. I don't know about
I think you could
chicken.
use this in a taco, because I think it's fair to say
Sure.
that you would have like chipotle and lime in a taco, those types of flavors.
Okay.
Even just, not like a breaded chicken like we did here, but just like a
like a shredded grilled chicken taco.
Grilled chicken.
Yeah, pollo taco I think would be a good application for that. And I do think that maybe Cholula also has a chipotle lime.
Okay.
I'm pretty sure they definitely have a lime, and we know they have a chipotle because we've tried that. Yeah, this is interesting because you're absolutely correct. And our friend AK was heavily alluding to there was like some surprising mystery about this sauce that we would uncover. He didn't want to. He didn't. Well, he told us that, but he said there was something else he didn't want to spoil for us. And I know that previously, when he's talked about this for the past 6 months or so, that you guys have ignored, he said something just very mysterious about it. He's like, it wasn't what I expected. He said stuff like that. He's like, it's interesting. He's like, he said specifically he thought it would be like a barbecue sauce.
Oh dear.
And I'm not
I think
sure.
he just came in expecting a different sauce than what was labeled.
Yeah, no, he fully admitted to that, and I'm not sure what set his expectations that way, because I'm sure that he, like I said, has probably watched this YouTube channel and actually knows something about this, which none of us do.
Yeah.
So I'm not sure what led him astray there, but I suspect the thing he was saying was like the secret surprise was that it was so lime forward, because I know he kept referring to this as the dang sauce. And after seeing it today, this was the first I'm realizing that it was chipotle lime dang sauce. And I believe on the website they have other flavors, so I'm assuming that the thing that he was most surprised about was how prevalent the lime flavor was.
That, and I remember him also saying that just like the color, with that dark color we were trying to, describe.
It looks
really
more
does
like
look more like barbecue sauce.
If you saw it in a picture online, it would look like barbecue sauce. That's fair to say. As far as me personally, I think this might be the first chipotle sauce we've had on the show that I didn't care for. I gotta be honest. Yeah, this was the first one, Tori, where I was kind of with you on the whole like axle grease roller coaster industrial lubricant.
It's
spray.
true. It's true.
Yeah, this one tasted kind of off to me, and I don't know if it was like that heavy combo of the lime and like the dirtier flavors. I wasn't getting that nice smoked flavor that I normally get from the chipotle. It did just kind of taste dirty or something,
There you go.
I kind of get it. So yeah, maybe I'm starting to kind of come around on this a little bit. And yeah, this one in particular, like I said, just was not doing it for me for whatever reason. It was very lime head forward. The level of heat in it, I think, is fine. That part doesn't bother me at all. But like I said, I wasn't getting enough of the chipotle, which is the actual component that I like in like a chipotle sauce. I was getting that lime and, frankly, dirt and heat. So yeah, really not for me. Definitely not barbecue sauce. Definitely not something you would like if that's what you're expecting. But yeah, it's something. It's dang.
It's a thing.
It's dang. All right, well, let's get on to the last one there. Eric, do you want to kind of lead us off with yours?
Sure. The tasting notes for this: prepared horseradish and beets. So I took a hefty forkful out and put it on top of one of my chicken nuggets. And I proceeded to cut the chicken nugget and this prepared beet and horseradish sauce on top of it, right through the whole thing, speared it and put it in my mouth and chewed it all together. And you know what?
Why did you have to describe that so grossly?
I kind of liked putting, I don't know why, I think Adam tried his as a side dish. I masticated it
all loudly in my mouth?
Loudly in my mouth. It was delicious.
Audibly into the microphone for Adam?
It was, I don't know, there was a real mildness to it. Like, it smelled strongly of horseradish, but then I felt like when I was actually eating it on top of the chicken nugget, it was quite tasty. I liked it. It was a level of, I like beets to begin with, so there was certainly this, like, a sweetness, because beets are very sugary, and then there was the horseradish, which provided just a little bit of heat, but not much. It doesn't linger. it was flavorful, but yeah.
Wow. Yeah, for me personally, I think you're spot on. You mentioned when we first started the show about trying it as a side dish, and I was mocking you because I thought that sounded ridiculous. I didn't want to have mine on in a chicken nugget, though. I thought that sounded even worse. And I gotta be honest, as a side dish, it's not bad. Like, I think it's mild enough to be edible just on its own. I wouldn't want to take a whole big scoop of it, but like you could certainly take a little nibble of it. It almost reminded me more of like a sweet sauerkraut.
Huh.
Like if you closed your eyes, I would be more inclined to think it was, if you fed it to me with my eyes closed, I would say it was sweet sauerkraut.
But it has such a strong odor. You mean like also plug your nose so you can't
what I got mostly for the vinegar was like, or mostly for the odor was like vinegar. And I got a lot of that for the flavor too, like sweetness and vinegar. And I got an exceedingly small amount of the actual horseradish itself. It was so mild. I don't quite know what I would try this on. I think this would be a good side if you had like some sausage or something like that for a little bit of contrast, like a German dish.
I think even like lamb or steak or like a nice.
What about a roast?
A roast?
Maybe a roast. Yeah. I don't think steak. But yeah, like I said, a
roast
nice
beef?
Maybe. Yeah,
roast
nice
beef sandwich?
Reasonably. I don't think I would try it on a roast beef sandwich. I'd rather have the OG like the Beaver brand deli horseradish sauce on something like that. Yeah.
I probably would rather have Beaver brand, but that's a testament to Beaver brand horseradish sauce being so damn good.
Right.
Yeah, that's fair. But like I said, very mild, and you could certainly take a little bite of it. It's sweet, vinegary, very, very mild on the horseradish, and I actually kind of like the appearance. I like the appearance of the bottle. I like the appearance of this. Limited applications, but still pretty cool. What'd you think about it, Tor?
Yeah, you took the words out of my mouth. I was gonna give E a hard time, and then you a hard time about the side dish suggestion, and then you subsequently shooting it down because I think you might be onto something, E. Yeah, I wouldn't want gobs and gobs of it, but the little quarter-sized, possibly, dollop that I put on my plate here was quite pleasant. I like horseradish. I know I've mentioned that before. I put a little bit on my chicken. It dyed the chicken red, which I thought was neat, of course.
Weird.
Yeah, yeah. And I thought it was good. I mean, I would dip horsey sauce, chicken in horsey sauce, given the chance. So it's really not that far of a cry from this here.
Less creamy. It's just more.
Yeah, less creamy.
Yeah, exactly.
The texture was there. I was on board with the sweet sauerkraut thing at first, but I think the fibrous nature of the horseradish would give it away from me.
Okay, that's fair.
Yeah, I don't know. I see what you're saying. I don't know. Maybe if we thought about it, had a minute or two to think about it and really put it together. But overall, I thought it was pretty damn good, and I've been eating it with a fork here pretty steadily.
Yeah, it's definitely eatable with a fork.
Yeah,
mm-hmm.
which
I'm
just blown away because I do not like beets typically. Yeah,
that's a good point.
Gonna make a beet eater out of you, huh?
Maybe.
I didn't get a lot of beet flavor though. It just got the sweetness, really.
Okay,
yeah, it just mild it down in the color. Yeah, mild down on the horseradish. I thought the horseradish was quite prevalent, really. I mean, even though it was mild, I thought it was still there.
Yeah, it wasn't wasabi grade or nothing, but it was certainly there.
I thought it was pretty mild.
Huh.
But, let's take a very, very brief look at the websites here, and I'm just going to pop over quickly to the Hoff and Pepper, because just looking at this just now, I did learn a couple things. Number one, whoever the YouTube people that are in this car channel have two of the most punchable faces I've ever seen in my entire life.
Wow.
And that is not a threat. I'm just saying they look like people I would not get along with, just based on their faces in general. I don't like them. And I did also remember after looking at the bottle, too, that this is made in Chattanooga, Tennessee, which I'll give them a little, maybe a discretionary point for that, because I have been to Chattanooga, Tennessee. I like Tennessee, particularly like Chattanooga. Very cool little city, very chill, relaxed, good people. Yeah, I was a fan. And then the other thing I learned here, well, I shouldn't say I learned it, but I pieced it together after looking at the full lineup here, of which there's maybe 9 different sauces. The Hoff guy who's featured on this as well apparently is the guy, appear to be correct. He is the guy that seems to make the sauces. And this was a collaboration with this one particular sauce with these other two goons, I guess. I don't know if that's part of their nomenclature. And but it seems like the full lineup is Hoff sauces, Hoff. So some of these other ones look like I'd rather try them instead. I'm not going to read the whole thing because they're kind of hard to read. But
Dirty Dust, that one on the end.
Yeah, that seems intriguing. But
the mean green sounds intriguing too.
So like I said, did learn a couple things there. I probably won't be their next YouTube subscriber, but I might watch a video just to get some idea. And I may retract some of my statements if I decide that they seem like, God, just looking at their faces again. Look at this guy. Oh my god. All right, well, moving on. So we'll talk about the Gold's brand prepared horseradish and beets. And I will say that the label on this sauce is so charming, and the website is really cool too. It's very plain.
We forgot to talk about the top piece that was ripped off before the cap there, because that's kind of charming too. Like the candy stripe there of like navy blue and like this like real pink
yes
wrapper that's heat shrunk around the top of it. Kind of neat.
This is not the jar we got. You realize that, right?
Oh, yeah, you're right.
Yeah, you're looking at a completely different jar that we didn't have. That's why you don't remember that. So
that wasn't on there. Okay.
Not like this, at least. Yeah, we're looking at a completely different jar online that Eric's describing, having remembered despite not having seen this jar.
I didn't take the plastic off the top. I just thought it was like that.
But anyways, yeah, they're very chill website. Oh, they've got this in like a gallon size.
Oh, wow.
Ooh, mommy.
Oh. Side dishes for all.
But yeah, they're really big on the kosher thing. That's the only thing that's really jumping out to me on the website here. They do appear to have a couple other horseradish type things. One that's hot, one that's just regular without the beets in it. But yeah, very plain website, very clean design, very good website design. I like it a lot. This could definitely be a Dapper Dipper as far as I'm concerned, like in a heartbeat. This jar that we have here tonight.
Yeah, it's a good looking jar.
Not a lot else going on there too. They've got some other sauces which I don't know. They look like I would check them out. They've got they have a very easy to look at website. I would highly recommend giving it a look. Nothing on here makes me want to punch it as opposed to the dang sauce. So there's a plus. And then lastly, we'll talk about the Bissel, which, like I said, is a local operation that doesn't focus primarily on website design as much. So it's a little bit of a plainer website, but also worth checking out. I will say, if you ever curious about the maple syrup collection process, they have, I'm not sure where it's exactly it is on this website, but they have a really cool YouTube video that shows like how they collect maple syrup from the local trees. It's pretty cool. Definitely worth a look. But yeah, not like I said, not a lot going on other than that. Just a cool little, like I said, local outfit. All right, yeah. So that'll do it for the website for those. And now it's time for Eric's favorite segment of the show. The ingredients.
Oh, yeah.
Since there's 3 sauces and 3 of us, we all got.
Why don't you keep them consistently in order and start off with
No, we're not doing our own.
Doing them all. No, Eric, we're 98 episodes in. Let's
not break form.
Ever?
Yeah, we did that once. I swear we did that once. I don't know.
You're up, my man.
Okay. I have here the Sweet Heat maple syrup. And the ingredients are as follows. Grade A dark color, robust taste maple syrup. Pepper mash, salt, vinegar.
Mash?
Yeah, so pepper mash, which I guess...
Must strain it out or something. It's like just marinate it and then just strain it all out.
They just have one ending parenthesis. They don't have a beginning parenthesis. Probably supposed to be like the salt, vinegar, and peppers is the mash, I would assume.
Okay.
But they missed a little typo. Refrigerate after opening.
Small local, small batch product.
Cute. All right, nothing much to it. That seems
straightforward.
Straightforward. What you'd expect. Oh boy, this Gold's is going to be the death of me. Wait, I gotta go in order.
I was just going to yell at you.
The dang sauce, chipotle lime hot sauce. Ingredients for this one. Let's see if I can read sideways here, since it's got the broken lid. It is chilies, which obviously has red jalapeno, habanero, chipotle, ancho. Ancho chilies.
Yeah.
So there's a comma there, not the same thing. So 4 different types of pepper. Then vinegar, lime juice, salt, cane sugar, garlic, citric acid, onion, and smoked paprika.
Okay. Makes
paprika.
sense.
And I'm now
He's been getting better about it.
Leaking it out of the lid.
You better lick it. Better waste not, want not.
That's right. Well,
better lick it.
I want it on my table.
Better lick it.
Well, what if I want not? Well, then what?
Don't use a napkin. Waste not, want not.
But what if I want not?
Well, then Eric's parents will come over and judge you and preach to you until it's indoctrinated into you, and you have all these mantras that you brainlessly repeat to yourself for no reason.
Is that what you think? You are a weird one.
Yep. That is me, certified weird one, Adam. I am a weird one, but not for the reasons you think.
All right, now they made the interesting decision here on Gold's. I honestly don't know if I'll be able to read this because it is in the navy blue lettering on the transparent part of the label.
Do you want me to take a whack at it?
Ouch.
That is an interesting choice.
I need eagle eye over here.
I think I got it held just right here. It says horseradish, beets, Passover vinegar, and salt.
Okay. Very good.
Well,
sounds kosher to me.
Sounds kosher. Yeah, I trust you. That sounds right. It checks out.
Yeah.
That's what I would expect, I guess. So, All right. Well, with all that being said, I think it's time for us to get on to the ratings portion of the show. Let's go ahead and let's start it off with the Sweet Heat Maple Syrup. I think this is a tricky one for me because I like this. I think it's good. The only complaint I would have, and this is something that isn't really a complaint because this is just the nature of the beast, it's kind of like we were talking about with the honey. Like, you're not going to tell the trees to make it any differently, just kind of like you're not going to tell the bees to make it any differently. But that being said, I think that maple syrup is like, you don't get maple syrup straight out of the tree in this form. It requires some man processing, as opposed to honey, which requires basically no processing, and we discovered when we tried the comb itself. To that end, I do kind of wish they had evaporated a little bit more of the water out of this to get it to a little bit of a thicker consistency. My only gripe on this, I have no gripes on the flavor whatsoever. I like the label, I like everything about it, flavor's good. It's just a little bit thin, It kind of wants to run off the chicken. I wish it had laid a little bit more on it, more, coated it a little bit more instead of running through it. And I think, without knowing too much about that, that is something that you can control as a syrup manufacturer, that you could, evaporate a little bit more water out of it. Again, I could be totally wrong about this because I am not an expert at all, but I think I'm going to give it a 9, and I think I'm going to withhold that last little point there just because I would have liked it a little bit thicker.
What's the price point on this?
I got it for free, but I think it was, I think on the website it said $12.
And how many ounces?
8.
Wow. Boy.
It's above the honey ratio.
It certainly is, yeah. And
bear in mind, this is a collab between 2 people.
Yeah.
2 small local outfits.
I get you, man. A lot of what you were saying was copy and paste for me. I like the flavor. I like the heat. I think the maple is good. I mean, it should be. It's a small hometown outfit, mom and pop outfit. I mean, it should be damn good. You're certainly paying for it. Or someone did. Someone would. You didn't. But at any rate, yeah, I mean, it was good. And your bitch with that product is mine, too. I think it's too thin. I think to me, looking at the way it sloshes around in that jar, doesn't really invoke a maple syrup type feel. I want something that clings to the side of the jar, maybe a little shingling. And I know as much as I tell the trees to make their maple syrup differently, damn, they just won't listen. And here's what we have. So, oh man, I guess the question is, what could I add or remove to make it better? It's a tough one. I think 9 is a really solid answer. I had 9 in my brain before that. Yeah, I don't want to, parrot, what you're saying, but I think it's a solid score. It's really good.
Yeah.
It's really good. I mean, you get what you pay for. It's a high quality product. You pay a lot for it. Yeah.
It's worth it. You don't use a lot either, to be fair. Like,
that's
it doesn't
very
require
true too.
very much.
Look
how much we used out of this container. That would last you a lot. That would last you a while.
Very long while.
And maybe that's a credit to the thinness. If it was thicker, you may have a little bit of a heavier pour. You may be
and it might be overwhelming. It might be too much flavor. I said I'm not the expert. I'm not the expert on this. I was somewhat the expert on the honey. I am absolutely not the expert on this.
I mean, I wouldn't consider myself an expert, but I have an uncle who tapped maple trees and made his own maple syrup. I have, family in Chardon, Ohio, which is like, they have a maple festival every year. That's a very well-known maple-centric town.
Nice.
Of Ohio.
This also came from Northeast Ohio, if that wasn't clear.
Oh, I know. You said as much.
Yeah.
I don't know if it didn't come from Chardon.
No, it didn't, but very close there.
Very close.
Yeah.
So,
half hour away.
Yeah, close by. So, I've had just pure maple syrup many a times. I know what I'm getting myself into. And I like it over the, corn syrup, like thicker, store-bought, heavily commercialized maple syrup. So it's a lot more expensive. And I don't know, but I do think you're getting a better premium quality product for that. And like I said, local source and whatnot. So I had 8 in the mind just because I didn't really taste the heat. I think I did it an injustice by trying it out of sequence. So I'd like to try this again.
You should try some more. There is definitely heat there.
And I'm sure I would enjoy it. I'm sure I would enjoy it on a waffle, even just by itself, or pancakes.
I think it'd be good with sausage too.
Oh, I'm sure it'd be good with sausage.
Breakfast sausage?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Yep. So, I mean, this could probably easily be a 10 for me if I, gave it another shot later on. But
interesting points. Okay. Let's go ahead and move on to the dang sauce now. Tori, do you want to lead us off with your rating for that?
Sure. Yeah. Sorry, Goon Squad, but I think you're sort of over before it began for you guys here, at least as far as I'm concerned. I'm sure you guys are wonderful mechanics and make terrific YouTube content. I think you're actually quite handsome, despite what my co-host thinks. So Don't send your YouTube followers against me. No, I'm just teasing.
That's why I'm not the liaison to the social media people.
He's just too darn mean. But yeah. So at any rate, over before it began. It's a Chipotle sauce. I'm not gonna like it. I don't care what you do to it. You put Elvis Presley on the front. I don't care. I ain't gonna like it. And sadly, this is the same. It's a 3. Wow. Thought it was a little bit more tolerable than maybe the other ones we've had by a slight margin. And maybe that's credit due to the citrus. I'm a citrus boy. I like that type of thing. The citrus kid. But, not good. Sorry, guys.
Okay. Eric, what'd you think about it?
I'm gonna come to their rescue a little bit when it comes to the sauces. I mean, I got in particular Hoff here. I like the sauce. I think, I like Chipotle already over top of like a Frank's Red Hot, right? Or Valentina's, classic hot sauce or whatnot. I just think that has a level of more of that smokiness and whatnot, all those flavors I like. So right off the bat, being a Chipotle, got put at least about a 6. I really like the bottle. I think it's a neat design. I like the lime taste in there. I think that's a good usage of, that flavoring and that particular, instance is kind of a niche product for niche.
Yeah, I think you're good enough.
Anyways.
Of all the things that you stopped to correct, that was the one.
That's the one. That chicken taco application that you were saying, Adam. So I think I'm going to give it another full 1.5 extra in discretionary points. So I think it comes in at 7.5 for me.
Wow. Okay. I, too, am going to give this a discretionary point. That's going to be a combined factor of, I think the bottle is cool. The flask is...
Oh, I think you're going to do a discretionary point down.
No, the flask is cool. That's, kind of, I think of Tennessee, and I think of things like Jack Daniels, Lynchburg, right. Tennessee. That's, I think of, and this is extremely similar to a, flask size Jack Daniels bottle, except for, those are usually, I think, plastic for Jack Daniels, and this is glass. Oh. But that lid is extremely similar to a Jack Daniels bottle. And so I like that aspect. I like that it's from Tennessee. I like that it's from Chattanooga. I think that's cool. I think the label is kind of a pleasing design. That'll earn it 1 discretionary point. Unfortunately, that discretionary point is going to bring it up to a grand total of 2.5 points for me.
Wow.
Did not like this sauce. I mean, just something about it, like I said, for once, it's like the clouds parted. I saw Tori's holy words come down from on high about the roller coaster grease, and I was like, yeah, damn, I fucking see it for the first time ever. I see it, I feel it, it's real. I don't care for it. I think the guys had kind of punchable faces. They could be beautiful people. I've never seen a video of theirs. I will probably watch one just to confirm or deny my own biases, but taste alone, yeah, the main thing I got was that lime, and it came off strong, pungent, weird, artificially tasting, the dirty taste, and not enough smokiness that I like from Chipotle. The heat was a good level, so there's a little bit from that, but I mean, just damn, it's not dang for me, it's damn.
This again.
I would not try this on, I might give it a shot on one taco just to make sure I'm not missing anything, but yeah, I don't need this in my life at all. So I'd much rather have Tabasco, Chipotle, and a fresh squeezed lime on this instead. That's my thoughts. But let's move on to the Beets now. The Beet horseradish sauce. And Eric, do you want to kind of lead us off with that one?
Sure, I'll do my best. I'm not really, honestly, I haven't landed on a number yet for this, I guess. I don't know. It's just so unique. But I liked it. It wasn't bad. It's hard to call it a sauce. It's more like I guess it is a sauce. It's horseradish. It's a topping of sorts.
It's not really a sauce. I don't know if I'd call it a sauce. It's more of like a condiment or something,
Yeah.
A topping.
Yeah, like a topping or a condiment.
Or a side dish.
Or, yeah.
In this case.
As it were.
Yeah, we even ate it as such. In small doses. I thought it was neat. I liked it. I'm not sold on it. I don't think it's something I'm going to go out on my way to get again when this expires and becomes fermented. Maybe I'll like it more after it sits in my fridge for a year.
Horseradish wine.
Yeah, horseradish wine. I'll give it a...
It expires in 2 days, so I don't know about that.
It's going to start the fermentation process real soon. I'll give it a 6 because it's just, it's interesting and I thought it was decent.
There's probably a high enough sugar content in there that you could make some sort of horseradish kimchi type thing.
Oh, yeah, well, sure.
It sounds interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah, for me, I think it was decent. It was kind of strange. It's not exactly what I want from a horseradish, but I could see it being a good topping on a couple of different applications. I love the labeling a whole hell of a lot. That's enough to give it a discretionary 0.5 point for me. And I think it's going to come in right at a 5.5, Nothing stood out to me about it. I don't need this in my life. It's interesting. It's cool if it was on a table or something like that. If it was, I don't remember. I've been to a Jewish Passover, a Seder meal before, and I don't recall specifically having this, but it's possible that I did, and I don't recall. I do feel like I remember having something beet colored there, so this is possible that is a staple for that. I don't remember what I tried it on, so for what that's worth, but yeah, interesting. Would have it again, but it would be application specific. So 5.5. What do you think, Tor?
I think you're right on a lot of points. One, allow me to bring up this here point. What would you put that on over a creamy horseradish sauce? I know we talked about applications, and I still think roast beef or a pot roast or something like that would be a good one. But in an event that I didn't have a creamy horseradish sauce or just a plain old grated horseradish I could mix with mayonnaise, that's its time to shine when it plays second string.
Yeah.
Which
when you're out of something else.
Yeah. So I don't think that is necessarily a great thing, or even that you're even so much of a good thing. Yeah, I wouldn't improve it so much, but I would pass over it. Almost every chance that I got for a white regular horseradish. Because if I'm going to get horseradish, I want the bite. I don't want sweet. If I want horseradish, I mean, I guess the red is cool, but it's not necessary. I mean, I like it, but I think it plays second string rather well at best, so I think it's a 4.
I would like to inquire of they really play up the whole kosher Passover thing here, so I suspect I'm missing something critical from that. Like, it has some very specific niche application that you're supposed to use it for that we're just we don't have any familiarity with, because we're not in that, no exposure to that whatsoever. So maybe there is some niche thing that it really does apply to perfectly. I just feel like maybe I'm missing something, but hard to say. Yeah, I think that's going to do it for us this week for the Goon Squad's Dang Sauce Chipotle Lime Hot Sauce, the Bissel's Sweet Heat Maple Syrup, and the Gold's Prepared Horseradish and Beets. 3 interesting sauces that have basically nothing to do with each other aside from maybe you could make a thing about heat, maybe super vaguely, but yeah, just a wild bunch just like us, all thrown together and seeing what comes out. So, but yeah, with all that being said, I think it's time for
recipes this time.
No, I don't have a recipe for you. I just wanted to panic you. So.
I was expecting a recipe.
Me too.
I don't know what to do with a recipe for this. This is so weird that these.
If I had to mix all these together,
one dish or something like that.
That's what I was expecting.
That's what I was expecting too.
Without going into a full length recipes, I won't put on the spot. Let's brainstorm a dish that you could use all 3 of these on.
Jesus.
They would all obviously go on chicken. We tried them all on chicken. I feel like
honestly it would be a little weird, but maybe use the right percentages, right? Use maybe a 3-part of the horseradish to 1 of each of the other 2 sauces here.
Ew.
Mix them together?
Yeah. We're going to mix them together and put that on
you'd lose so much.
Fish.
The dang sauce would overpower everything.
Fish, you think?
Yeah, the dang sauce is so spicy, or not spicy. I don't mean heat. I mean spicy, as in containing a lot of spices. It would immediately overpower all the flavor from the maple syrup.
The maple syrup's so sweet. Huh.
It's not that.
And this
sweet.
is relatively sweet. The horseradish will just give it more texture.
I was trying to think about could you make some sort of a taco where it was a chicken taco that was had some sort of a coleslaw made with the sweet heat maple syrup to sweeten it, and then a little spread of the horseradish, and then maybe the dang sauce across some of the chicken or something.
You put maple syrup in a coleslaw.
Yeah, as you can put sugar in them, so I'm thinking maybe instead of sugar, you do something like the maple syrup.
You are the coleslaw dude. I have no experience with that at all.
It's quite common to put some form of sugar in coleslaw, so I think you could do something like that. And there's also quite common to have a little bit of heat, as we had in the Dukes. I think that would
That's spicy coleslaw.
I think it would be a waste to use good maple syrup in coleslaw, but I think you could make some kind of coleslaw blend for a hipstery taco. Put a slide of that horseradish on there for color, and then a little drizzle on the chicken. You're season the chicken when you cook it or something like that. Could work.
There we go.
Oof.
AP original sauce spoken recipe.
This is a real stretch. It's a tough one. It's a tough one to fit all these together. So it's a weird recipe and it's a weird episode. That's all I got to say about that.
It is a weird one.
But with all that being said, Eric,
touching our final thoughts.
Do you have any closing
thoughts with E?
No, you would like to share with the listeners this week?
I mean,
any parables or fables?
Well, I just got done watching the latest episode of The Sandman on Netflix.
You already talked about this.
Mrs. Maisel.
Yeah. Not to be spoiler alert here, but there's a particular episode with the Angel of Death.
Wow, very edgelord.
And it was very interesting because, it goes on to talk about how many people are afraid of death. And I know I've never really been one to, I don't really fear death, I don't think that's like something that you should be afraid of either. So, keep jumping off of cliffs, jumping for frisbees.
I had to put my head down. I couldn't look at you.
Heroic frisbee grabs.
I'm not really one to be afraid of death. I watch edgelord shows like The Sandman with the Angel of Death. I'm not afraid. I'll take a running somersault and then cry at Adam's house for another hour after I hurt my shoulder, Walter.
Is that what happened? That's interesting.
You didn't cry.
No, you toughed it out. You were grinding the shit out of it. I would be crying.
You did whimper
I'd be
lot.
crying for you.
I nailed it pretty damn good.
You did whimper and groan a lot.
But it was, but I just thought the whole episode in general spoke to an interesting, it's a really interesting topic. People's fear of death. I don't know. You shouldn't fear it.
There you go.
Am I wrong? I don't know.
Oh boy, no.
I think you're right on the money. Yeah.
I just sometimes, and this isn't
I
even.
I literally cannot fathom what's going through your head. You find something hilarious, but I don't even get it.
This isn't even. This isn't. You say I'm harassing you? Is that
I'm
what you
laughing because he's like.
I said I don't grasp it.
You don't grasp. I think you said something about harassment. No. I'm not even really laughing at you. I'm thinking about several other instances I've had, and things that reminded me of this type of conversation where someone's mental image of themselves is so wildly unaligned with how I think reality is. Someone I'm not saying this about you. It's just the way you were talking reminded me of people I've met who really think they're a Billy Badass and they're the dorkiest person I've ever met in my entire life. So
gotcha. All right.
That's when he's Angel of Death. We need not fear death in this mortal coil.
It's a really neat episode. It's a really neat take on it. It's worth watching. Or again, right.
So your closing thoughts is that listeners should watch more Netflix.
And
now it's time for Touching Thoughts with Tori.
Wow. Well, allow me to lift it up.
His touching thoughts are going to be...
I thought mine was very uplifting.
Don't forget to give Amazon Prime a shot, too.
Yeah.
There's Hulu and Disney Plus as well.
No fearing death or embracing life or nothing like that, but more in a micro sense, if we can take a look at more of a micro sense, it's okay if today felt a little bit different than what yesterday felt, or what 2 days ago, or a week ago. That's okay. Your capacity has the capacity to change from day to day. So, and there's a lot of moving parts, man. You may not have got a good night's sleep the night before. Someone at work may have said something to get under your skin. Maybe you not have noticed it. Maybe there's something wrong with your car, or maybe an appliance on the fritz at home. So it's okay that if you feel a little bit different than what you did yesterday, because there's a lot of things going on. And the other thing I wanted to mention for my final thought is I know I talk a lot about gratitude. I'm not going to hit you with another final thought, but I do want to express some gratitude and put my words in motion and rap out to our boy, Cusano Tyler on Instagram. If you're listening, Cusano, you're the man. Keep up the good work, my dude.
Hell yeah.
We love seeing your name on Instagram. We love the engagement. We're lonely guys, so keep up the good work. There's a shout out for you, my man. And that'll do it for me. We love you.
Keep on not fearing death, brother.
That's right.
It's okay as long as, things can be different as long as they follow the same format, right? Things can feel a little different as long as they follow the same format.
How cutting.
Consistency. That was actually a good one.
Cutting.
That was a good one.
Didn't he have a good joke earlier that was off air and I told him to repeat it and he didn't or something like that? Wasn't there something he said that was funny earlier?
He gave you the business.
Yeah, I know. There was something. I forgot what it was now. You missed your golden chance to roast me, Eric. You missed your opportunity, so.
It was a stupid dad joke, pretty much, but.
As always, thank you guys so much for listening, and we'll catch you next week.
Oh no, it's the end of the show. Thank goodness there's several other episodes waiting just for you. Check out our Instagram. We like to have some fun over there. We post the sauce bottle pics if you're curious, and the occasional meme. That's going to be Sauce Spoken official. Despite our humble nature, we are accepting donations, believe it or not. Look us up on PayPal. That's going to be at Sauce Spoken. Hey, and if you like what you hear, grease those palms, babe. Lastly, roll up your sleeves and get into the nitty-gritty at saucespoken.wordpress.com. We have show notes and details. Check it out. Share us with a family member or a friend. If you're enjoying it, I'm certain they will too. Good night.